Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with a completely new way of playing Giant Graveyard. A top ladder Japanese player played this strategy at over 8,200 trophies. The only difference in his deck was Bomber instead of Minions. I prefer Minions because I want more air defense. And distractions to Inferno Towers and Dragons. As much as people hate Giant Graveyard, a lot of people have adapted and figured out good answers to it. Whether they counter your graveyard with Poison, Electric Spirit, Log, any small spell, and defend the Giant with Mighty Miner, Cannon, Inferno Tower, or any building. Now with the updated and evolved version of Giant Graveyard Night Witch, no opponent will have any clue what to do. If you go for a Giant with a Night Witch in the back and stack up a lot of bats, the bats are something that your opponent will have to spell as well, forcing opponents to poison or arrows on the Night Witch bats or all the graveyard skeletons that are stacking up on their tower. In double and triple elixir, because you have mirror, you can stack up more Night Witches to increase the pressure. Eventually, your opponent's just gonna burst because trying to figure out how to defend this deck on the spot when you've never seen it before is the absolute worst. Cycling mirror arrows to finish off musketeers and cannons so your Giant can break through, stacking up multiple Night Witches to drive your opponent batty, or going in for a level 16 Giant when your opponent's used all their answers on the first one. Basically, the deck adapts to anything while your opponent will always struggle figuring out how to defend. So let's go jump straight to some games and assert dominance. A huge thanks to everyone that's using creator code SirTag to support the channel. All right, we got a game against apparently my dad. All right, dude. Well, we're gonna sauce out a good luck, and I'm gonna go for Giant in the back. We definitely want to build up a big push here. And the way that this deck works is if you go Giant in the back, and then you go for a Night Witch in the far back at 10 elixir, all the bats will go behind your Giant, and none of them will be wasted. If you drop your Night Witch too early, some of the bats will go ahead of the Giant, and then that time period that you would, want the bats to stay alive, they would just sacrifice themselves, and the Giant wouldn't be able to give you more value. You want to use the Giant as a resource so you can stack up as many bats as possible. That's what I'm trying to say. Wait, this is really good. I think if I arrow on top of the Bomber, he's going to take like 500 damage from the skeletons at least. He drops Zap, so he has no other small spells to clean up the skeletons that were accumulating on the tower. So I guess Daddy got destroyed. I don't think he's having a good time right now. Also, seeing his deck right now, I'm feeling like he's probably got some wacky Golem deck with Fireball that I haven't seen before. Usually when you see Mega Minion and Bomber, yeah, it's got to be Golem, right? So in this type of matchup, what I'll do is I'll cycle some Cannon Carts in the back since they have such destructive damage potential. I don't want to do tower trades against these type of players. I'm already up so much. Why wouldn't I just defend, use my arrows to eliminate the Night Witch bats, and just take a huge advantage from you, right? That's the vibe for me, at least. I'm going to go in for a guards on top of the Mini P.E.K.K.A, and the Mini P.E.K.K.A should die. I think I'm able to get a nice arrows down soon. So I'm going to go in for minions, and then I'm going to arrows afterward, and I think I'm chilling. Like, that Night Witch bats aren't even a problem right now. Yo, I don't even have to go for arrows. He's overcommitting with the Zap too. My minions are able to finish all that off, and, the bat's locked onto the Cannon Cart. It's going to die, and we're in a really good spot. We know that his only answer available right now is the Bomber. That's all he has for the graveyard. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go for a Night Witch here, Giant when he goes in for a Golem in the back, and then just arrows on the Bomber and win the game. That's the game plan for right now. We'll see how well it works. Yo, he's giving me more time to stockpile more stuff. This is really nasty. You guys probably have figured out what we want to do. We're going to mirror arrows if we need to. And I should be able to kill the Night Witch. And that's going to be way harder for him to defend now with no Night Witch bats coming through. Because my bats are going to come on top of your Mega Minion, your tower. And you're going to take Night Witch damage now. It's an uncomfortable position for our opponent to be in. And because he's going for a Golem in the back, I don't think he has Elixir to defend this. So with 23 seconds remaining, your Golem's not going to be able to reach my tower in time, and you're not able to defend. So how are you planning on winning the game when the Giant Graveyard immediately gets onto your tower, and you can't teleport Dragon Ball Z style with your Golem on top of me? I can just delay the push with my guards, and I will walk away with a win. As you guys can see, this Giant Graveyard deck is really good on defense. And that's why I like it compared to most Giant Graveyard decks where you're like, oh, I all in all the time and I have no time for defense. This deck allows you to take towers and still set up a solid defense. All right, we got a game against Mr. King. We're going to see what's happening. He's got Clash Royale spelled incorrectly in his clan, so you guys already know he's trying to intimidate me right now. He's like, dude, I don't need those extra letters up in here. Maybe I can go in for a Giant in the back and then defend with our guards. I think that's going to be the best bet with this deck. Oh, great. So now I can't defend with guards because that doesn't shoot up. All right, I guess this is one of those few situations that's clunky and uncomfortable going in for a Night Witch to stop the balloon, but we've got double Night Witch up in here. Oh, wait, what? Are you serious? He went balloon right after that and had Barbarian, so he's got amazing answers to us. Wait, he zapped. I think that the Night Witch bats are going to stockpile here. I think that we kill the barbarians, and then I hope that the skeletons are going to take the targeting so the Night Witch stays alive and continues to give me bats. Let's go. Come on, level 16 Night Witch. Put in the work. It didn't die forever. And those 2 bats are level 16 as well, and they're hitting home runs for days. That is insane. Just because the Night Witch survived, that gave me another 2,000 damage, I assume. Like, would have been barely any damage without that Night Witch. But because level 16 cards don't die, you'll continue to get more and more value. Okay, I think it's important that I go guards here aggressively because I need to force out Elixir, and if I went for a cannon cart, it would cost too much. I'm going to go Night Witch early on so I can stockpile a lot of bats here. I think he's just going to sack the tower to guards. See, like a lot of people would go for Giant Graveyard. They would go in for aggressive plays that don't necessarily, you know, work that well when your opponent is not going to defend it, because then you would have no Elixir for your own defense. So just going for the minimal amount of Elixir that you have to do so then you can force out a response from the opponent or take the tower. And that's what we try to do out here. I expected him to not do that. I thought he was going to go in for barbarians, but since he went in for minions, I don't think he's going to have enough Elixir for barbs. Ooh, that was quite good. I think arrowing here is quite bad. I'm just going to do it anyway, so he can't go in for anything with the minions. Let's see how this works. He's going to have barbarians back in cycle, so I can't go in for a cannon cart in the middle. He can Lava Hound right now, and it's not even a bad play. But what I want to do is I want to stack up a lot of Night Witches, and I want to do it early. We got to get those bats on the map, baby. I'm going to follow up with minions whenever I can, so hopefully they can target the balloon. I hope that they're not going to target the Lava Hound immediately. Please, let me survive. Really good fireball on his end, but I can get guards down, so then the Night Witch is not going to take the targeting. Wait, are you serious? We survived there just stacking up Night Witches. That just doesn't feel right. I'm going to arrow so I don't have to respond. I'm going to go in for Night Witch again. I think what I can do is I can defend the Lava Hound here, and then all of my stuff kind of flows into the middle. Like, I don't have to go in for a graveyard immediately. I can defend first and foremost and then go in for the graveyard when we have enough. That Night Witch is definitely dead. His Mega Minion is also going to die, which is great for us. And then he's going to zap, so he's going to overcommit, and my bats are going to start to steamroll him eventually. Slowly but surely, we're making our pathway to success. I can arrows on those minions as well. Clean them up a little bit faster, then go for a graveyard when the cannon cart takes the targeting from the tower. He's going to fireball, but look at the cannon cart. Oh my gosh, the cannon cart's on the 3 crown. I don't know if that's possible for us. I want it to be, but I don't know if it is. Wait, he doesn't have barbarians in cycle. How is he expecting to win this now? The barbs aren't going to be in cycle for the giant. He's going in. He's going insane out here. My man's trying to pop off. We can go for arrows on everything, and then he's going to fireball, so he's spending a ton of elixir. This is really, really good because we have the Night Witch still alive. I can go for a giant graveyard right now whenever I want. If we want to go in for the giant graveyard when we have the minions counter pushing, or I can go in for, yeah, I got to go giant graveyard, I think. I could have went for cannon cart, but the giant's going to go directly towards the tower, and with him tombstoning there, I think the giant might be able to put enough work with the minions potentially locking on the tower and the giant pulling the barbarians back to the wrong side. This is beautiful. Wait, I don't think he has anything for this. There's no way, because he dropped his tombstone. I can arrows on the minions and the skeletons. He's got to go for barbarians again, but the cannon cart's going to put in work. Let's go. We are always on offense. And why does he keep doing that? Why does he keep dropping his tombstone there? What are those? Oh no, I have to all in and pray that we can find a way. If this doesn't work, I lose. I have to drop everything at once, because if that balloon locks onto my tower, I am destroyed. Please, let me win this game. Let's go. That was such an intense match against a great Lava Hound balloon player. With the tombstone in the back, I actually didn't understand for a while, but he needed that to defend the graveyard skeletons that were coming down. If he dropped minions, they were just going to get arrowed, so that's why he had to consistently drop the tombstone there. But since I had mirrored up giants and he didn't have tombstone in cycle, he took a ton of damage. Super satisfying win there. Let's bounce on to the next one. All right, so he's going to go for a Fire Spirit to kick open the game. Not the card that we want to see because it's already baiting out 5 elixir from me. And you're going to go for a Hog Rider on the other side. So this is a really good start for you. I think I can go for a Night Witch here so the skeletons don't completely devour my 5 elixir investment. And you're going to have giant skeletons. So this is looking like it would be the Archer Queen fast cycle Hog Rider deck with Earthquake. And the giant skeleton is really, really good, but it's bad against bats. Bats are able to thrive and devour it from the air, so you're not going to be able to do too much about it. Like, you can go for a Fire Spirit or Archer Queen to kill, but that's a lot of elixir to invest in Archer Queen just to finish off, you know, measly bats that I'm getting for free. So I'm going to guards here. Just can't let the giant skeleton connect to my tower. Definitely going to go for guards mirrored up here. And kind of showing him what my intentions are with this game. Not necessarily the best vibe, like already showcasing my crazy mirror strategies. Maybe he'll go in for an Earthquake on the first graveyard if we can really stockpile up a big push. And then we could go in for a secondary graveyard that's mirrored up. So that's what we would like to have happen. Unfortunately, I think he's going to know that. So the reason why I'm going to go on the right-hand side, even though, you know, it has less damage than the left, is because I want to be able to protect this lower HP tower. If our opponent starts to switch it up and go on the other side, then, you know, I'll probably go there as well. I'm going to go in for a graveyard, and then if you go giant skeleton, obviously I like to arrow on top of musketeer and cannon, because like double arrows, mirror arrows are able to kill the musketeer, and it puts in mad work against the cannon too. I think I'm going to arrow here just so that we can kill the giant skeleton a little bit faster, so then the cannon cart can retarget it on the musketeer maybe. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I don't think the musketeer is in range, actually. It is what it is. He probably can't earthquake here. He's just going to go for a fire spirit, and then he's going to try to log. But I think that the guards are going to stay alive long enough to give me enough value that I can just get minions down on top of the musketeer. I should have... I was considering going for the mirrored up guards, but I think they're just going to get distracted by skeletons or fire spirit again. So I just figured, like, why not? Why not just go for the minions? It's going to give me a hit anyway. So the way I like playing this is I like going for giant in the back, building up a big push with the Night Witch bats, and then overwhelming my opponent with that. So I'm going to go for the Night Witch now, just when I'm at 10 elixir, and I'm going to stack up a ton of bats here. It's going to go and drive this man insane. Also, the cannon cart, I'm going to drop that after the giant takes the targeting, so we can build up a bigger push too. We're able to kill his cannon. He's earthquaking early on, and then he's going to go for a hog rider. What are you doing? What are these shenanigans? There's no way that that hog rider is doing anything for you, man. I'm able to giant, and somehow the musketeer locks onto my cannon cart from like that far away. That's crazy. I wasn't prepared for that mentally either. I'm going to arrows here so the cannon cart dies a little bit faster. I was hoping we'd be able to hit a fire spirit, but somehow, some way, the giant is locked onto the tower instead of the cannon. That is beautiful. That is so good for us. Let's freaking go, baby. I need to go for another Night Witch here because he's going to go for a hog rider, and I need to be able to kill it. Okay, never mind. He's not going to hog rider. I guess he's scared. My man's shaking in his boots. He's going to musketeer here, or is he going to go all in? Oh, I guess he's going all in. That is not the play, because I can devour everything with minions and guards. And if I absolutely need to, I can go in for a Night Witch on defense if you go for an Earthquake. But you're Earthquaking on defense instead, so it's not that scary. The bats are going to lock onto the tower and load up the damage. I may be able to go in for mirror arrows and send you to the Shadow Realm. Look at the bats, guys. As you can see, mirror arrows is just way more clutch than running a fireball or a snowball in this deck, since it has longer radius, and even if your opponent drops something a little bit later, it can clutch up and hit so many different things since it has multiple cycles of arrows. All right, so jump into the game against someone that's in a pro player's clan. Okay, first strategy that you're going to do is go skeleton army at the river. I don't know if pro players do that too often. Okay, well, pros would definitely have a counter to the minions, and, you know, that is a great strategy going in for the arrows there. Getting some damage on my tower, making sure that you don't have to spend any elixir on defense. But the one thing that is in my favor, I am up 3 elixir, and you leaked a little bit there too. I think I go opposite lane, because you're already spending a ton. You dropped a solid 8 elixir on a cannon cart that will damage down the Archer Queen or force you to go invisible. The minions aren't going to do that much damage, and you don't have anything for the giant graveyard, because if you think about it, you probably have giant graveyard yourself, but you don't have enough elixir since you already dropped your minions, your best answer, and all of your elixir in the left-hand side. So that's the way that I like to play this deck. You cycle your cannon cart, and you try to bait out elixir from your opponent. If they overspend, then you can giant graveyard on the other side and not support your cannon cart. Or you can go Night Witch in the back, or cannon cart in the back, and then if you're up elixir and they just keep cycling some small stuff in the side or small stuff in the back, what you can do is you can go in for your giant and go in the same side as your opponent. So switching it up and swerving it with this deck is always a nice potential. And this guy goes in for arrows trying to get more damage, but as you guys can see, like, there's literally no way he breaks through. There's no way that he gets any more damage on our tower. We have already won this one. So as you guys can see, when you've got multiple good graveyard answers with the Night Witch, the minions, and the guards, your opponent's going to struggle to ever find damage. While I was able to take 2 towers, he wasn't even able to take 1. All right, we got a game against Mr. Tim. We're going to see what's happening. Definitely want him to spam into us. You guys know how this deck operates. We're waiting for the elixir advantages, and he's not giving them. So I can cycle Cannon Cart, and I could also cycle Night Witch. I could cycle my Night Witch because I end up having minions as anti-air defense against balloons. And I can cycle my Cannon Cart because I have guards to defend any bridge spam like Elite Barbarians. This guy's just going to go in for a bowler in the back, and he's going to rock it with that. I want to go in for... Ooh, wait, that's not a card I want to see. That's misery for me. Because if he's got like an Inferno Tower and he can rail delivery on top of my minions, I can't distract the Inferno Tower anymore from locking onto my giant. Here's the thing. 99% sure that this guy's got a graveyard deck. So this is really, really good for us if I go in for a graveyard right now because Goblin Gang's out of cycle. He's tornadoing my Night Witch closer to the tower. What are those? No way. This is so lucky. We're forcing out a freeze early on. This is traumatic for our opponent. Tim, what are you doing, my dude? You just like taking damage or something? You're crazy. You're tornadoing that Night Witch right towards her home. He was ready to hit you up, man, for some value. Okay, I can go for a giant aggressively right now because I think that our opponent isn't going to have a good answer. Like, we saw Bowler and Royal Delivery, so maybe he goes Inferno Dragon here and he won't have Elixir. Oh, he's got Inferno Tower. Nice. So he doesn't have Elixir for the Inferno Tower plus Royal Delivery since he just went Bowler in the back. So I timed that perfectly and I made a prediction. I thought he would have Inferno Dragon. It is what it is. Whatever works out there is nice. The only difficulty with this type of matchup is in single Elixir, you need to get all of your damage. In double, it's going to be some severe trouble because they're always able to afford the correct card cycle of Inferno Tower and then also going in for, you know, the minions counter with the Royal Delivery or Tornado on top of all the Night Witch bats that we have. The can card's a survivor. Let's go. I got an arrow on this pronto. I don't know how much damage I'm going to get, but I'll take every bit that I can. Come on, skeletons. Just a little bit more love, a little bit more damage. That's not enough. Oh my gosh. All right. I think I want to go in for another giant here and then follow up with minions again on the Inferno Tower if we can make those predictions for days. Oh no. Tragedy is befallen upon us. It is what it is. We know he's got graveyard free, so maybe he's going to mess up and go in for a graveyard at the wrong point. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to try to go for a cannon cart that he can't necessarily knock back very effectively. And we'll see if the Night Witch bats are just able to swarm him. And then we can go in for guards after he freezes or tornado. Okay, he's going to freeze and tornado. He's dropping all of his elixir right now. My man's a wild child here. Okay, so looks like the Night Witch is definitely going to die to the bowler, which is the problem. Like, we want to go in the opposite lane of our opponent whenever possible. We know he's going to go in for Inferno Tower. I think I got the minions down in time. I did. He's going to Royal Delivery. That's fine. I think he's only going to have Goblin Gang. Wait. So it might be one of those few moments where I can mirror Graveyard. Or maybe... Yeah, I think I'm going to mirror Graveyard and then arrows on the Goblin Gang and try to get damage from that. We're going to have so many Graveyard Skeletons that we're hoping to get damage. Please. More value. Okay. For whatever reason, it's not dying to the Ice Wizard. That worked out really well. I'm not even going to fib. That was better than anticipated. I'll take it. He's going to go in for Inferno Tower again. What is he doing? He's freaking out. He's so finessed by this. This is crazy. Because I think we can just stack up Night Witches and then go in for a graveyard like counter with guards on top of the bowler. And then the Night Witch bats are going to be able to stop him because he can't do anything here. Yeah, I can just cannon cart and the bowlers lock onto that. And then the Night Witch in the back is not one that you can freeze. The cannon cart's going to take up all the targeting. I can go for a giant here because the bowler is not going to be able to break through that. We can go for minions off to the side. Okay. All right. I see you. I was hoping that the minions would be able to get down in time, but it's not happening. It's a lot of stuff coming at him. Royal Delivery is going to come down from our opponent, but I think I can go for near a graveyard here. Or maybe just arrows, actually. Arrows are going to kill the Inferno Tower, and the skeletons are going to start swarming him. Dude, there's no way. I just arrow you out. Like, this is how we play the game now. This arrow cycle for days, baby. I'm going to go for a super high cannon cart that he's not able to defend easily. I'm expecting him to freeze, so I'm going to go in for, you know, our guards here. I have to arrows because he's going to try to get some shenanigans happening, but I just arrows twice now and I win the game. That's what we do. Or maybe I can graveyard because we have so much crap coming at him. I think the graveyard will give us one hit. No hits. One hit? Let's go. That's arrow range. Please, 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 please. I just need to get the arrows down to pierce his heart and his soul and send him to the Shadow Realm. That's what's happening, baby. Let's go. Very fun W there. Kind of a crazy game where I was actually able to experience the mirror graveyard. The fact that the Ice Wizard wasn't able to one-shot my level 16 skeletons gave me 500 damage, even though I didn't even have a tank with my graveyard. All right, we got a game against someone from the future. So you guys already know the deal. I really want him to make the first play, but maybe he predicts what my deck is, so he doesn't want to do that. If you're playing against Giant Graveyard, you want to get to the late game, use your poisons, use your splash damage, and just eviscerate all of my Night Witch bats and my graveyard. However, our deck does work okay in Double Elixir since we have Mirror and we also have Cannon Cart, which are really annoying cards to deal with in the late game. Oh, he's going to have Electric Giant. Wait, if my Cannon Cart crushes it, he's not going to be able to pull everything back with the Fisherman. The Fisherman's just going to keep walking to the Giant. That's hilarious. Wait, am I going to get more damage than him? That's insane. He dropped an Electric Giant and got less damage than a regular Giant. Bro, why'd you pay that extra elixir? What are you doing with your investments out here, man? I think I cannon cart in the back, and then I go for minions. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to make sure I build up a bigger push. I think I'm up a lot of elixir. I feel like the minions are going to force something out of him. Maybe he's just going to eat the damage. No, he's going to go in for a Golden Knight. That's awesome. I think I win the battle at the river with a Night Witch if I want to. or just let his units go into my cannon cart and lose more elixir, that's cool too. I'm fine with that, man. Oh my gosh, this is going so well. He dropped his bomber, which is his main source of splash damage, I'm assuming, right? And if he doesn't have that for the Night Witch and then the graveyard skeletons, we can fully surround this man. I think that Electro Giant players are just very whimsical with their elixir investments. They see stuff coming at them and like, either I'm going to hardcore defend or hardcore never defend and just make one extreme happen at all points. I think he's making an extremely bad play here going for the Electro Giant. Even though the Night Witch does die, his tower is getting shredded and destroyed. I'm going to go for a cannon cart off to the side so it doesn't get reflection damage from the E-Giant, and I think that's optimal because maybe I can even 3-crown him. Yo, the future wasn't able to predict us, apparently. He's going to go in for Inferno Dragon. I should be able to stop that with the minions. But for all intents and purposes, if you're playing against a giant graveyard deck and you lose your tower and you're spamming stuff into like mirrored up cannon carts, you're never going to win if you're running E-Giant. Regularly, I think if you're running our deck and you're running the one with Archer Queen, they would just lightning it. But if they lightning the cannon cart's going to stay alive and it's going to pull the E-Giant. There's no way for him to break through here. If I just go in for a cannon cart here with the Night Witch, it should be able to pulverize it, right? Don't disappoint me right now, Clash Royale. I'm telling you. Okay, so he lightninged out a little bit later. That was well played on his end. But as you guys can see, with 30 seconds remaining, he's going to have to break through multiple more things, which just really isn't possible for him. So I'm going to go for a Night Witch. He's going to go and click the ability, and he's not able to dash onto all of our stuff. So we walk with the win. Pretty decisive victory against someone that's running Electro Giant, and there's nothing more satisfying than crushing those type of players. GG, and well played. We'll see where we are in the world. After the win, we're 7,600. And that Electro Giant player last season finished around 200 in the world, over 8,000 trophies. So a super good player. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.